Girl, I'm in my soft guy, Eric Drizzle, Drizzle. Girl, I'm in my soft guy, Eric Drizzle, Drizzle. I did a live last week where I mentioned in that live, this guy wrote asking why is it that romance can't be a surprise for guys? Like, why can't we be romanced in that first 3 months and yada, yada, yada. And so I said that as a guy, unfortunately, romance can't be a surprise. You need to plan meticulously everything out in the beginning, because women are going to build better trust for you if you plan dates they go through successfully, and she's able to see like, oh, this guy knew how to take care of me on this date. He was able to plan an activity that he knew I'd find fun, that was safe, that made me feel like adventurous and like a woman. Like, yeah, that all helps build up trust and makes them feel more feminine towards you and makes them start building a faster attraction to you. So there was a woman that commented under that video, and her response was, no lie. The first thing that alerted me to my husband's potential was how he planned out our first date. We were set up by friends, but he still called me up to formally ask me out, and over the next couple of weeks, texted me about my preferences and planned out several activities accordingly. In the end, all the plans fell through or changed last minute, but the fact that he put in that much effort for what was actually meant by us to be a platonic date struck me as extremely considerate and sweet. After that, we talked every day for a few months until he took me on a second date, long distance, and formally asked me to be his girlfriend by Nerdy Cypher. I'm going to assume that's like a talk platform. I don't know what that is. But anyway, so yeah. So what's this woman saying? She's saying, yeah, this dude who I was just going to go on a date with his friends, like he planned out the whole thing, and it got my wheels thinking about, gosh, this could be like a great guy to actually date, because he's already putting in the work and effort to show me that he's willing to put in the plans. This means I can just show up and be my pretty feminine self. And that's all women want to do in those first few months of dating. They want to show up. They want to smell good. They want to look good. They want to go through the hassle of doing the girly things like picking out what shoes to wear on this new date, or what new outfit to wear, or if it's an old outfit, making it look as pressed as possible so it looks new to you, or what perfume to wear, or what lipstick and makeup. Like, these are all the things that women are dying to do. But what most men are doing is saying to the woman, hey, so what do you want to do on a date? You should tell me what you want to do. Hey, why don't you plan out what our date should be? And then that way I know that you like the date, and then I'll take you. And women don't care about that. Women just care about, I want to be as feminine as possible. I might have a job where I'm at the office all day having to plan and stuff and work meetings like a dude. When I'm not at the job, I don't want to be a dude. I want to be a woman that goes out and is able to be womanly. And I want my guy to take over the guy role and plan stuff. And as you can see, the results, they're married now. They're married happily. Oh, also note though, notice it says here, they talked for a few months until a second date. So no, because I tell you guys try to rush, like, I need to date her every single day or see her all the time and text her all the time. And so granted, they were talking every day, but they were also long distance. But like they went on a date at some point, and then it took a few months until a second date, a few months, right? So I try to trust you guys. Women that have high interest in you, you ain't got to see them every day for them to keep that like and interest. But you can risk flame out if you are effectively trying to date her every single day, because that becomes a situation where it feels to her as though you're already locking her down, even though she hasn't quite had the time to figure out if she even wants that and wants to be locked down with you specifically, you know? But I want to read this lady's message because like it really proves the point that ultimately, guys, you are going to be best at being able to plan things and make sure that she's having a great time on those first few dates. And trust me, the results will come. On that same video, the romance can't be a surprise video, this guy said, because again, I say, you got to plan the dates. You got to make sure that you're showing a good time, yada, yada, yada. I said, for the first 3 months, you got to be the guy to do that. And somehow this guy read that as like not being your authentic self. So he said, so basically act like someone else until she likes that person, and then reveal your real self. Another word for this is lying. And yet even another word for that comes to mind is being a pussy, basically. And it's interesting that anytime men, well, let me not be a general list here, okay? Basically, but there are a lot of men that feel as though if they're doing something to try to get women that's up to this point out of their nature to do, that it means that they're lying to women and not being their real self. And I think the best quote I've ever heard from the movie Hitch, which that movie is suspect, but the movie had a great line, which is like, who you are is a very fluid thing. If you could be your authentic self and get women, then the reality is how you were at age 2 should be perfectly fine in terms of how you get women. Like how you acting at 2 years old, ranting and crying and screaming and all that stuff will be perfectly acceptable when it comes to trying to get women. But the reality is we evolve, we learn new things, we learn what is positive about ourselves, and we learn things that could use work and that aren't helping us. And in the dating realm, you being a guy that doesn't want to plan stuff and wants to always ask her what she wants to do on a date, I'm sorry to say, that could be your authentic self. It's not going to get you a lot of women, because women want a guy that is comfortable with making plans and comfortable with not asking her opinion on every single little thing that he's trying to plan to do. Okay. And so you have to get out of your head this idea that how you currently are now is the only way you're ever going to be. It's not. How I dated at 25 and how I dated at 41 are two drastically different things, because I have more knowledge base now, more experience of what it means and what it looks like to be in an authentic relationship that's going to be functional. Versus back then, yeah, I wanted to care for the girl, but I also wanted to get my rocks off, and I also wanted to possibly see how many I could possibly do, and I wanted to make sure that the woman was there for my esteem. Like there's various different reasons in your different stages of life as to why you're dating, and you're operating based on how you're trying to date and the reasons behind that, right? So the idea of like, well, I'm acting like somebody else because I don't want to ask her to plan, but that's the nice guy thing to do. But is that benefiting you? And is it benefiting her? Because if you're doing something that's authentically you to try to get women, meaning women are your consumer, right? And you're telling the consumer, well, the way I'm going to get you is I'm going to ask you what you want to do on these dates. And they're at large, women are saying, I don't want to do that. And you're like, but that's who I am, blah, blah, blah. You're going to lose. So do you want to lose, or do you want to do what's going to get you women? Something to consider.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class